All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SheEO Center Stage. Listen, if y'all not ready, you should be ready because, baby, y'all see who I got on here with me tonight, right? None other than the Kellye A. Bowens. And y'all know that A stands for and is. It does. Yes, come on, look. Make sure, make sure you go and tag somebody. Come on into the broadcast. Let people know we are live. Because I'm telling you, she is getting ready to show you guys what it means to be the CEO of your life, to talk about being on the center stage, to talk about what it means to be front and center in your life, how you can show up and really run your business, promote it, get that visibility, get the positioning that you need to let people know who you are so they can follow you, so they can support you, they can, purchase your products and your services, because we want you to be out and about and the most talked about individual there is. And that happens when people know who you are. So Kellye A. Bowens, how are you this evening?
I am awesome. I am super excited to be here on Center Stage with the Angela ALove Lewis.
Yay. I'm excited too. So Kellye, listen, I know that in the SheEO district, everybody knows who you are. However, because we are broadcasting this out and we're going to have people who are going to share it out, I want you to kind of let people know who is the woman behind the brand of Kellye A. Bowens.
Well, it's kind of a loaded question, and to be honest, we just gonna keep it real on 100 because that's just how I'm moving forward in this season and beyond. I used to have a hard time answering that question, even during SheEO, because sometimes we're so many things to so many people. We really take on that identity, so it's hard to talk about ourselves outside of our titles, right? So right. I'm gonna practice here, practice here on tonight. So I am a lover of people. I've been coined this, and I love the phrase. I'm a purpose pusher. My purpose was revealed to me mid-30s, later in life, right? Trying to figure things out, successful in the corporate world, did a lot of things great, but I had a hard time finding my identity and how my gifts tied to my purpose. I was a little confused there for a while. If I can just, again, we just keeping it 100, right? I was confused there for a while. And that's how I know that we can make six figures, we can climb the corporate ladder. But if you've not identified your purpose, there's still you're still left unfulfilled. And that sense of unfulfillment will nag at you for years until you start that journey, that path, which we call now our E2 journey. You start that path to purpose. And then once that purpose is revealed to you, once that purpose is discovered, then you start down that path of living in and on your purpose. And then you start to feel a sense of fulfillment. So contrary to popular belief, yes, making six figures is great. But if there's not a purpose attached to what you can do with that six figures, because if you're making six figures, it's not just for you, right? We are blessed to be a blessing. So until we can associate our gifts and talents and our abilities, our God-given gifts and talents and abilities to a purpose and the assignment why we're here, you will live a life of unfulfillment, and you'll find yourself spending your lifetime chasing, trying to fill that gap, that void, and that having a sense of purpose here in the earth. So again, if I can be transparent, that just led me down a lot of paths to wrong decisions, wrong relationships, wrong partnerships, trying to fill the void that only God could show me to where I needed to be, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
does. And I really love that you went into the explanation, because for a lot of people, it is, we hear so much on social media about chasing a bag and,
Mhm.
all of those things like that. And it makes people kind of confused too, because while you're out chasing a bag, sometimes you're chasing a bag for something that's not your purpose. And when it's funny, I speak about it because a good friend of mine was on Instagram earlier talking about that Wynn Robinson, and she was saying that she's a realtor, but she's also a relationship coach, and she loves coaching, and that's her purpose. And although people may say, "Well, why would you do that?" Because I know you make more money as a realtor. Like she said, the fulfillment comes from operating your purpose, and sometimes it's not um as fulfilling to chase the money, because that's not where God really has you. Although that
Yeah.
may be your job and you're doing it and you do it well, your purpose is what you're designed for. And
Yeah.
so I love how you always break it down. And so we'll go ahead and let you do your spiel about what it is to be the leader of the SheEO district, but also about what you do outside of that.
All right. So, and we'll just start with SheEO. So, I am the founder of the SheEO district, as well as the owner of Visionology Event Management. So, what we do at Visionology Event Management, actually, we're shifting gears a little bit, and there'll be more to come in 2023. But we're actually shifting gears a little bit because at some point, and we teach this in the SheEO district, at some point you need to get out of especially if you're in a service industry, you need to get out of that hands-on into coaching and consulting, right? So we want to kind of work our way, scale our way out of a job, right? Because when we're first involved with a business, we're hands-on. We are the accountant. we are, everything. We're everything. So right. So you want to start to work yourself, scale your way out of being able to contract those things out. So that's where Visionology Event Management is now, right? So let me take a couple of steps back and show you how, explain how my gifts make room for me, right? So let me dial it back a little bit. So short story, quick story about SheEO District. We were established in 2020. And again, this kind of comes on the heels of when I was looking to kind of find myself, redefine myself, identify myself in God, and not from social media, not from what grandma said, not from, what my friends or whatever told me. My identity in God, right? And who he designed me to be, right? Because once I get there, I can be who I need to be for everyone else, right? So my purpose is I've always loved helping women. I've always had the conversation about helping women walk in their purpose. And I wasn't walking in it myself. I don't know if everybody can identify with that. Sometimes we use ourselves as a conduit and we helping everybody else, and folks just funneling, and you know what I mean? But you're still, once that, the thing about a conduit, once the thing or whatever is flowing through it is left empty. And so that's what I found myself. I've poured into women, I poured into entrepreneurs, but once that information has passed, once that excitement has passed in that coaching or that mentorship, then I still found myself empty because I really wasn't clear on what I was sent here to do, right?
Right.
And the enemy will tell you all types of lies, that you're not qualified to do a thing. You don't deserve to do a thing because of your past. So he'll continue to play your past like a movie reel, literally in your head, to disqualify you from what you've. And it's almost like it's kind of cliche, but the devil and the angel on your shoulder, right? Right. So coming into and identifying your purpose, it really is. I'm not going to say it's easy, and I'm sure it's not designed to be easy, because the enemy's not going to let you just skip into your purpose like that. He has to have some type of opposition when your impact of purpose is as great as he know it is, right? So, and I'm just going to put a pin right there. So if that's you and you're in that stage in your life, and that typically happens mid-30s, I was kind of fell into the statistic, mid-30s, 40s, right? Because we 20s, listen, we out here trying to kick it, live our best life. We climbed the corporate ladder. We got a little extra piece of change. We can travel the world. We can go, to brunch, dinner, whatever it is, right? But that gets, I don't say it gets old, but at some point it's not fulfilling anymore when, again, you have not identified your purpose. Like I got handbags for days upstairs in my closet, thousands of dollars worth of handbags. Do it be no good when I get to a point where I'm feeling unfulfilled. I can go out and make all the money and buy all handbags and red bottoms I want. If I'm not living in and on purpose, then I won't say it means nothing, because who don't love a good handbag and nice pair of shoes, right? But it's about the fulfillment. It's just it becomes deeper than that, right? And so that was me. So 2020 hit again. We talk about it, how it was a time of reflection for us. We were all in the house. We were all, couldn't even go outside. So it was a time of reflection for those who allowed it to be a time of reflection and not a time of, oh my God, what's going on? Just worried about, more focused on the circumstances more than dialed into what should I really be doing during this time? Once we really figured out like kind of what was going on in the spiritual realm, we all kind of quieted down and like fell back, right? And put that mirror up and like, am I really doing what I am sent here to do? Because what it did remind you is how you could be here today, gone today, not even tomorrow, here today, gone today. And did I really do what I was sent here to do? Because at that moment, your red bottoms don't count. It doesn't matter. Your handbags doesn't matter. Oprah was sitting in the house, right? So we all level playing field with everybody in the world, right? So it's about how you came out of the pandemic. Did you come out better than when you went in? Right. So during that time, God gave me the vision for the SheEO district. He had given it to me before. I kind of dismissed it. Not kind of. I did dismiss it. And during the pandemic, I was able to like really say, okay, God, I see you. I hear you. Right. And so I'm going to move forward with this vision that you have given me. And I know that this is tied to my purpose, because a lot of times our purpose is always going to be tied to something we're already doing. We don't have to go and it's all going to make sense. It's all going to feel natural. Right. And so tying Visionology back to my purpose, and I'm like, okay, well, I have this business. Do I neglect that, or how do I navigate this? And then I'm brought back to that scripture where your gifts will make room for you. I really, really, really now understand like what that really means. My gift and talent of event planning has made room for me, provision for me with my purpose, which is the SheEO district. So we're very event heavy. That's part of the vision that God gave to me. I love seeing people have a good time. It's something about the energy and the happiness. And when people are in an event, we looking good, we smelling good, we feeling good, right? It's something about the energy when you're in an event that brings me joy. Not happy, it brings me joy to see people happy. And no matter what's going on, it brings me joy to see people happy. And so that's my story. That's how God has made room for me and my purpose with my gift of event planning. So, and again, if you're on that journey, teetering, like I don't know what my purpose is, I'm trying to find my purpose, start with your gift. Like that's a great starting point. What are you naturally gifted at? What would you do forever? Like, and not get paid for it? What brings you joy? And it's always going to be tied to, just kind of going a little layer deeper, it's always going to be tied to some type of service. Even if you have a product, that product is going to be tied to some type of service at the core. So that's kind of a good starting point, because here's the thing. People use the term finding your purpose. We don't find our purpose. We're sitting here with a purpose. So we can't find something that's really embedded on the inside of us. Our purpose is revealed to us, right? When we're ready to have that purpose revealed to us, because it's such a precious it's such a precious thing to God. It's literally tied to your purpose is tied to souls. I know that's kind of deep, and I won't go too much deeper than that. But walking in your purpose is walking into you doing your part in building the kingdom.
Come on, y'all hear Kellye A. Bowens dropping all this knowledge. And I love it because, the thing about it is, and I see we got, and y'all, for whatever reason, it's Facebook users is what we're seeing in here. But I see somebody said facts. What you saying, just letting us know that that's resonating with them. And the thing about it is, Kellye, what I have found out as we do the SheEO center stage, and that's really all about helping women who are in business, entrepreneurs, business owners, come and really talk about their business. A lot of times people who are operating in their purpose, people who are using their gifts, find it very hard to get visibility. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing something that comes so natural to you.
Yes.
Or if you're serving, you're doing it from a place where you just feel like that's just what I do. So you don't feel like you need to bring recognition to that. However, can you speak to people and let them know why it is important, even if you are operating in your purpose, even if you are utilizing the gifts God gave you, why you should take the time to get this visibility and put yourself on center stage? Go ahead, and I see you rocking, so I know that means yes. Come on and let them know what's going on with that.
and we're gonna tie it back to ministry, right? Your purpose is part of ministry. At the end of the day, we can call it what we want. It's part of you doing your part. We're all ministers, and we're all here. Purpose is tied to ministry, right? However, and listen, let me just get this disclaimer. We don't beat anyone over the head with a Bible, but SheEO is a Christian-based organization. Like we are, is no secret. I got to give this disclaimer because I have to give this disclaimer before I give my answer. God being who he is and the Father that he is would not send you here, bring you here on assignment and not have provision attached to that assignment. The reason why we're not seeing the manifestation of our gifts is because we haven't attached that. We haven't gotten the revelation of how we're using this gift in purpose. It is a supernatural blessing tied to and embedded in you walking in your purpose. You think life is great today? Take your gift and start to walk in your purpose. It's a whole nother life waiting on you on the other side of purpose. And it has nothing to do with money. God don't need your money for healing. God don't need your money for peace. God don't need your money for joy, right? He don't need your money for that. My whole life is unexplainable on paper as far as a ledger and a line item is concerned. I've recognized that. Sometimes I'll look back and I'll be like, wow, coming through the pandemic, like how did all this work? When your life don't start to make sense financially and on paper, listen, that was evident to me that I'm walking in favor, and I don't need that ledger. I don't need, and I'm not saying like we don't need money. Yes, we need money, but God is my source. I don't look to man for being my source. I know that as long as I'm walking in and living in my purpose, my daddy has me. And we have to have that posture when we are in purpose, right? Otherwise, the enemy is going to come to distract us. He going to let life going to start lifing, right? And that's nothing but a distraction. But when you're in purpose, you recognize the distractions quickly. You're able to call it out. And then he fall back because Satan don't like a fight. The reason why he don't. And the reason why he's able to consume us sometimes because as soon as life happens, we throw in the towel. We give in, right? Instead of taking that posture, I'm going to give this to God and I'm going to go on about my business. Just like how you would, if you're at Chick-fil-A and you order you place your order at that window, at that drive-through, you don't care what's going on inside Chick-fil-A. You know, when you get to that window, they finna hand you your food and you're going to keep going. Same with life. And that's the same posture we should have driving through a drive-through that we should have when life starts happening and we know God got us, right? But that takes personal growth. That takes development. That don't come automatic. That takes being around the right people. That takes protecting your ear gate, your eye gate, putting the right things, deposits into your spirit to have that, to begin to have that posture about who God is and what he is to you, and how he operates, how he helps you to navigate your life. And, I'll just use the example of, we lost our dog, our dog ran away on Thursday, and literally Holy Spirit guided us back to, and yes, it's a dog, and yes, he's a part of our family. But it's just knowing that Holy Spirit will lead and guide you in all things, even down to finding a pet, finding a family. I want to just say a pet. It was part of our family. So Holy Spirit will lead and guide you in all things, but that's part of the posture. That's part of the package that you come with walking in purpose, because God has brought you through so much that don't make sense to the outside world on paper. What social media says, what people say. I live a whole different life outside of what the norm is, and I'm just talking me, because I walk in purpose. I know that I have an extra layer of favor that doesn't make sense, that's afforded to me because I walk in purpose, and that's part of. I'm not special. That's part of the purpose package that I have recognized and tapped into and lived from.
Come on, Reverend Dr. Kellye A, Apostle Bowens. She done dropped it all. And you know what the crazy thing about it is, and we're talking about, really kind of pitching center stage, because I want people to understand at the beginning when I met Kellye, when SheEO started, in 2020, right? So it's been 2 years. And at that time, Kellye was very, boss chick behind the scenes, running things and making it happen, great ideas, implementation, using her gifts and talents and skills, making sure all parts were working and moving and operating according to what God had revealed to her. However, what she didn't want to do was take center stage. As you start taking center stage, as we continue to say, Kellye, you need to be out front. People need to know who you are. Now, the more that you do it, now look at you. Now you can start talking about the things that are important to you in terms of walking in your purpose, in terms of, creating this community of women who you are inspiring to step out and be great, to talk about the goodness of God and how he showed up in your life, and to give him the glory in all things that you do. Those were things that, yes, you would say it behind closed doors and in one-on-one or in our group sessions or whatever, not necessarily coming onto a platform to talk about it on this level. But what the beauty of center stage is giving you an opportunity to where the more that you get in front of an audience, the more that you can share your passion, the more that you can share your thoughts, to be a thought leader or a change agent. Those things happen the more you get comfortable being in front of a camera, the more you get comfortable being in front of an audience where you can speak your truth. Now, Kellye letting it flow out, baby, like it ain't nothing, just dropping it. And I love it because I see the progression. And again, a lot of times, when we're busy doing our things, when we're busy operating in what our businesses are, we feel like we're wearing so many hats. Girl, I ain't got time to go and do that. Mm-hmm. But it's important, because what happens is somebody's going to watch this broadcast and say, oh, I really like what she has to say. I like her thought process. Let me look a little further into seeing what the SheEO district is about. Because now I've heard from the founder. Now I see where her heart is. Now I see that, oh, this is a Christian organization. Okay, I didn't know that for sure before. Now that you hear that, now it warrants people to maybe take a closer look. Now that they see what you're talking about in terms of utilizing your gifts and how you're not chasing the bag is going to come if you chase the purpose and chase God. He's going to make sure that, because the blessings of the Lord will overtake you, right? You be operating and running around here doing what he told you to do, and then it knock you in the back of the head, and you be like, boo, hold on. Because I see that you're dropping stuff for me, right? I see that favor comes. So I think, and what we want people to understand is when you are in a position to promote your business and get visibility, don't look at it as I just don't really want, I'm not the type of person who want to be out in front of camera. I like to be behind the scenes and all that. People need to know your heart. They need to know how you got to where you are. They need to know something besides, oh, I just sell this product, or oh, I just have this service.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know, because sometimes it's the deal breaker. Because
Mm-hmm.
maybe I need to see how you operate and what your thoughts are in order for me to say, oh, if I'm going to sow my money, I want to sow it in good ground and support
Yes.
somebody who
Yes.
has belief like I
Yes.
have. And
Yes.
that's what taking center stage means. That's what it means about getting into positions where you can promote yourself and get that visibility and really let people know who you are and what you stand for. Those things, that's how you look at major companies. When you talk about big companies, sometimes you can make it or break it depending on who the person is that's out here
Yes.
representing them.
Mm-hmm.
So Kellye, for people who are, really even thinking about, why SheEO? Why should I? What will be the benefit? Can you share with them the importance, or what you feel like how SheEO can be a value to them?
Well, I'll just say from a personal perspective, you've all heard me say this before. I am just as much a member of SheEO as I am the founder. SheEO has blessed me with a tribe that I never had. Like, when I say never had, up until 2 years ago, I had friends, I had associates. I was never able to be my authentic self. And I say that my authentic self being that I'm passionate about helping people, which happens to be associated with the business. That's not everybody's talking point. That's not everybody's language, right? So if you get around people who, and they're just living their life, there's nothing wrong with that, right? My passion happens to be what it is. And I wasn't around the people to cultivate those conversations, to cultivate. I like going to business conferences. I like going to empowerment conferences versus the club, right? And nothing wrong with that, right? But I had to suppress the things that excited me to appease the group that I was a part of, and nothing against it. Like, I enjoyed myself, but at the end of the day, you want to be around women who are like-minded. And when I say like-minded, for me, is women who are passionate about purpose, women who are passionate about their gifts, women who still like to go out and have a good time, women who like to be a blessing to other women who like to empower other women. So formulating the SheEO district, and not just that, just resources and education. I've been in business since 2012. And when I tell you, I knew nothing about business other than I want to turn my gift of my love for event planning into a business. Knew nothing past that point, right? So, and it wasn't until years later, after a lot of money spent, time wasted, that I even started to make a profit, right? Quitting, right? Because when ignorance is on fire, it's only a matter of time, because you're not directing that energy towards anything productive. You're just ignorance on fire. It's only a matter of time before you hit a brick wall. It's like, okay, I made a mistake. This was not for me. Again, that's that enemy coming in and using that vulnerability of you not knowing, not having the education, not being around the right people. Then now you got that spirit of quit on you, right? Because again, had I known my purpose is always going to supersede any notion to quit, because I know that this is bigger than me. Like, it is a lot of people, souls attached to me continuing to move forward, mistakes and all, but I got to continue to move forward because it's just not about me, right? And so what SheEO has meant for me is there are women out there. If you just dwell in your current circle and no new friends mentality, you don't even know the people who are out there waiting to connect with you. And a lot of us have that just because we've had, unfortunately, negative experiences with other women. And it's
Right.
really just it's a myth. It's no truth in that women can't get along, that all women are catty. So we don't subscribe to at all subscribe to that, because even on I'll take the leadership team. Y'all listen, we don't agree on everything, and that's a good thing. But guess what? We respect each other. We respect because if somebody, you got to respect people's opinion, not opinion, but if they have a valid perspective, I won't even say opinions, perspective, receive that, right? And we're not here to change anybody's mind about anything, but we have a level of respect for each other. We're willing to listen to a perspective, and hey, we may just agree to disagree. Let's go get this mimosa and some wine or something. You know what I mean? It's not I'm gonna wash my hands of you because you don't agree with what I say. Like who wants that, right? And you never know the depth of the relationship or the real relationship until there's some rub involved. Like as long as everybody getting along and we going to brunch every Sunday, you know that's not a measuring stick for relationships, especially when it comes to women. We don't know really the depth of relationship until there's some opposition. And how do we resolve conflict? How do we resolve disagreements, right? And
Yes.
so I will say, no, nothing's perfect. Nobody is perfect. We're 2 years old. We're still a work in progress. I will say the leadership team that we have in place today, I've been blessed. God has blessed me with some phenomenal women. They are my sisters. I call them we don't even call each other friends. Like we're literally sisters. And having a tribe, the ladies that have come through the SheEO district, whether it be tribe or community, that have just kind of gotten in there with us. We've all grown together. We are like sisters for life. Like you want somebody to cheer you on, you want somebody to hype you up, or be a shoulder to cry on or to lean on when you're going through, because you're going to have those moments. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's hard. I'm not even going
Very,
to sugarcoat it. It's difficult, right?
very. Mhm.
Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be doing it. It's difficult, and it is imperative that you have, and it may not be SheEO district, but you need to find a group, find you a tribe in business that are like-minded, that have the same beliefs and value as you do, are goal-oriented, and have your best interests at heart, and genuinely want to see you win, and going to put forth all the resources that they have available at that time to make sure you're supported in your entrepreneurial journey. So that was a long answer, but that's it. That's my answer.
It was a long answer, but that's okay because they said you come on and speak, Queen, you dropping the jewels, and then they said that's some grown woman ish. And I'm going to say this too. Somebody said, I've learned you must have thick skin to be in business. Absolutely. And I think Tanya, okay, Tanya, I see it's you. Hey, Tanya, thanks for joining us. Kellye, one thing I will say that people should understand, and is really an example of growth, when you talk about business, is that you said, as you are running your own women's organization, women's empowerment and personal development organization, that maybe SheEO is not for you, but go find somebody else who has
Yeah.
a like mind, like spirit, things that you can connect to. It's so many people who feel like, well, they already doing this or whatever. It's very big to be able to say that I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but guess
Mm-hmm.
what? It's people who love Coca-Cola, baby, so they're gonna be all for me. Or it's people who love wine, they're gonna be all for me. Or somebody loves mimosas, or somebody loves water. Whatever that is, it's something out here for everybody. You just gotta find your tribe and connect. And the beautiful thing about what you said is, I don't mean to say that you have to stay here with me. Go find whoever that is.
Yes,
And,
yes,
and there's so many women though who would be like, I don't really want you going with somebody else and trying to figure, and that can be in business, period. That's one of the things about, even with center stage, is really being able to announce what your differences are. What is it about you that makes you special and unique? Now, even though you give that unique selling point, that still may mean that there's somebody else around the corner who I might like
yes,
your outfit, or I might like the jewelry you have, or I may like, the service that you provide, but this person over here may be different. Maybe they use organic stuff. Maybe their prices are lower. Maybe their prices are higher. Whatever it looks like, you've got to be okay with understanding that it's so many things out here and so many people out here. Who's for you is for you. And
yes,
you got to continue to move forward without feeling like, the competition is going to wear me out. No, the competition should strengthen you and
yes,
encourage you to continue to move forward. Because like you said, if you are called to a purpose, then you've already got a group of people who are waiting for you. They're waiting for how you do it, how you say it, how you show up, what you have to offer, the way that you have to offer, and if you don't stay in the game, then you're allowing some people to not
right,
be able to benefit from what you have to offer.
yeah. Just so you know, just to your point, Angela, I had someone give me a call not too long ago, and say, "Hey, I went to a SheEO event. I thought it was you guys. It's somebody else out there. They weren't in the state of Georgia, but it's somebody out there, that was a SheEO. I thought it was maybe a chapter, the SheEO district, and just almost like frantic panic." Type mode. I'm like, yes, she and I talk often. Once we realized we had the same name and found out that our purposes are very similar, our heart for women is very similar. She and I talk very often, and we're going to be That's one of those collaborating things that's going to be happening in 2023, because I don't have that spirit of competition. Again, personal development, me walking in my purpose, having the posture, what God has for me is for me. I don't care what the name is or anything like that. I'm going to look to collaborate, because obviously we have the same heart for a certain thing, for a thing, right? And so let's lock arms and see how we can, because two are better than one. That's what the Bible says, right? So why do I think just because God gave me a vision that there is not a similar vision out there? Sometimes we get too cocky, too arrogant, and we allow that spirit of competition to come over us. It's billions of people in the world, so it's enough business. If that's what you're looking for, somebody gonna take your business or whatever. We ain't even about that. Like, we looking to help. We're looking to empower, right? And if that's being driven by money, when you're driven by money, you will forever be chasing a bag versus a bag chasing you, right? And I won't even say a bag chasing you. Favor chases me. Well, I don't even have to have a bag. I get stuff for free. I don't have to pay for everything. I don't need a bag I don't need a bag to live the life God has for me, right? We just got to get out of that spirit of competition, that if I do this, it's going to take away from that. What's your heart? What are you really doing this for? You know what I mean? We got to get back to our whys, and our whys have to be genuine. Otherwise, people going to see straight through you. Like that.
That's good.
Yeah, people going to you become transparent when your heart isn't pure. And people read you like a book and you don't even understand why. Like your motives are exposing you. Your heart is exposing you. You don't even have to say anything. Like your actions, deceitful action and things like
Energy.
that. Exposure. Exactly.
It's the energy
Yeah.
that shows up. People
Yeah.
automatically know. It's a feeling that you get like,
Yeah.
something's not quite
Yeah.
right. Somebody just said, nope, they out here giving out your name and number to get your clients. Somebody said, that's right, honey. You got to be purpose driven. And somebody said, bullseye. You hit it on the money on the head, the nail on the head. Because bottom line, if your heart is not where it's supposed to be, then people are going to find out eventually.
Yeah.
You can always put on a good face. You can always, play a good game to a certain extent. But, people start realizing and recognizing when you are not who you say you are.
Yeah.
And for SheEO, again, the people who have been here, recognize the genuineness, and they recognize, the love, and they recognize, the things that, God has given you your heart. They see it. And, that's not to discount anybody else. Because again, like you said, what I love about you, and I guess, what I do want you to share, about how you go about really making connections, because you made a good point, is that the lady that has this other group with the same name, that you and her have talked and you're going to look at collaborating. Can you
Yes.
share with people who are in business? Because really, when we talk about center stage, we really want to help people understand how to, excel in business, how to get out here and really grow and really, enjoy and embrace the fruits of your labor. And one of the ways you do it really, Kellye, is you're very strong in making connections. And so if you would speak to the point about, how important it is to really get out here and connect with people in order to see exponential growth in your business.
So, one mistake we make in business is depending on our warm market, our friends, our family, people that we know, to grow our business. That is a huge mistake. Would you agree with that, Angela?
Girl, I wish I had a whole
We need a sparkle bell. Look, we need one of the sparkle bell.
We need a sparkle bell, like ding, 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 yes, honey. Listen, hey, if you don't know, you better find out. It's hard out here in these streets if all you're depending on is the people that or the people who are in your cell phone or on your, page or whatever, and friends and family. Yes, that calls goes down very quickly.
Yep. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that will keep you broke in business. And that will keep you discouraged in business. And let me tell you why we gotta put it back on us. We cannot expect, it's the expectation for me. It's the false expectation. We cannot expect our friends and family to support us in business, right? They didn't even receive Jesus. Jesus was Jesus. His friends and family did not even receive him in all the miracles and things that he was performing. And I'm just using this as an example, right? Because if Jesus couldn't get the buy-in of his friends and family, that should be an indicator for us that we should not expect that in our ministry, in our gifts, in our purpose. It shouldn't even be an expectation. And if we become angry, if we become frustrated and disappointed because it's really our fault. It's really our fault.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
If we have the expectation of our friends and family who are not obligated to do anything for us, right? And we use the term like we take baths together. They not gonna buy into what you're. They're not gonna be excited about what you're doing. They know you. They know you. They associate you and what you're doing with your past, who they know you to be, right? So it's gonna be to your advantage. That part is gonna be to your advantage to go out and find some people who do not know you, and you're gonna find that they are gonna be your biggest supporters, right? So the enemy, right? We said before earlier in the broadcast, he's not going to let you skip and tiptoe through tulips into greatness, right? So he's going to put that fear into you, that the fear of no, the fear of rejection. When if you just open your mouth and introduce yourself, even if it's through a DM, to say, hey, I see that you do such and such. Tell me more about your business. How can we collaborate? If you have that spirit of collaboration versus the spirit of competition, it's going to be easy for you. I do a lot of networking in DMs. I met Angela through where? Angela, how I meet you? How did I meet you, Angela?
Listen, hey, just reaching out. I've seen, looks like we have similar interests, and boom, we have a really, really great relationship. Like we say, a sisterhood now, all because of just an introduction. And
Yeah.
you have to really think. And let me just read this because they said, honey, you the networking queen, baby. Yes. And somebody else said, ain't no tulips. Maybe a dandelion. The tulip will come, but love the dandelion so you can get to
Yeah.
the. Somebody says, yep, Jesus left his town to find him some
Yeah.
disciples.
Boom.
Wait a minute. And let me just add this. One other person said, that is so true. Friends and fam might be good for a little training. And if they support, praise God. But if that makes us quit, it might not have been for us
No,
anyway.
okay, but can we say something about that?
Yes.
You can't say that it wasn't for you. It may you but have not been ready for that. People, we cannot put the success or failure on people. We got to put that back on ourselves, because if your family or friends discourage you so much by not supporting that it causes you to quit, you weren't in it anyway. Not to say it wasn't for you, you weren't developed enough for it.
Because guess what Jesus did? Shook the dust off his feet and
And
kept it
kept it
moving.
moving. Yeah.
You don't want to support, guess
Yeah.
what? Somebody else will. You don't want it, somebody else will. Trust and believe.
Yeah.
And it has to be that mentality, because bottom line, do you know how many people, in order for us to have anything that we have, for us to even get this little, for me to have this right here, somebody had to fail at it. Somebody had to put something on here and the thing collapsed. Somebody had to, look at these little working parts and say, dang, every time I put a little something on here, the little things fall off.
Right.
But it's trial and error. So that
Yeah.
means that just because somebody doesn't support you in the beginning doesn't mean you stop. You just
Right.
continue to go and perfect what you have until you get to a point where, baby,
Right.
they're looking for you because you're just that good. And
Right.
if they can't recognize it, because what you have to understand is some people will not support you because you've done 99 things before, until
Right.
they realize that, oh, so you're serious about this thing. Okay, well,
Right.
now you're getting a little recognition. Let me come on and support. Delay doesn't mean deny, but we
Right.
can't put everything on everybody. We've got to do what we're supposed to be doing and not worry about it. And if they don't
Right.
support, it's all good.
Right. And Angela, that's why, we pay close attention to the mental health and the mindset as far as business is concerned. Because if your mind isn't right, if you haven't healed from those things, your past traumas, your past issues, if you haven't healed, it's going to be hard for you to last in business. Like that literally has to be simultaneous, that you are engaged with your own personal development and your own healing simultaneously with making money. Because again, if your friends and family calls you because their lack of support calls you to quit, you got some healing to do, sis. We got to figure out why we got that spirit of quit on us. And typically we can tie it back to not healing. That's why our charge for this year was being wealthy. But we got to heal first. We're not gonna be wealthy. We're not gonna be wealthy until we heal, right? So that health and that wealth, that's why that's highlighted. You can't have one without the other.
That's good. Somebody said your success is not determined by the works of someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
listen, I'm telling you, the powerful thing about it is when you start realizing that it's people who get money and become extremely wealthy, but then they commit suicide.
Yeah.
So that lets you know that the money is not the solver of all things.
Yeah.
If you're not healthy in your mind.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to, when things start getting to a point where you feel like you want to quit, or when things get to a point where you feel like, you're in depression, even when things on the outside seem like it's going right, you've got to step back and take that time to, what you say, Kellye, heal, sis.
Heal, sis. Yeah.
Period. And a lot of things go back to childhood,
Yeah.
and so you probably really tap into, was it somebody who rejected you? Was it somebody who abandoned you? Whatever those things look like, when you get money makes more of those things come to the forefront.
Yeah.
Now you start feeling insecure because you don't feel like anybody really wants to support you. Maybe, they're going to be here now, but they're not going to stay. You start feeling some type of way, and you start sabotaging what you have going on. So it's important to heal. And it's important to also be around people who are going to be there for you, who are going to check that. People who can say, listen, sis, I'm not sure what's going on, and let's talk about it. And let me help you, and let me get you to somebody, let me recommend somebody, whatever needs to happen. But being in a strong sisterhood, having people who genuinely support you, whether you do good, whether you do bad, whether you looking crazy today, whether you on top tomorrow, whatever that looks like, you want somebody who is going to be through the thick and the thin of it, not just when you're doing great, but when things are going good and when they're not, because we're not going to always have good days.
Right.
Life.
Be lifing.
Yes.
Period.
And that's from Kellye and is Bowens.
And is. Yes. I'm have to use that one. Is for and is. See that? Listen, y'all get around Angela. She finna drop y'all. She gonna give you something to run with. Okay, trust and believe that. Listen.
Baby, listen, call me because I'm gonna give you something. Trust and believe that. I thought about it earlier. I said, wait till I get up with this one right here. She's gonna be like, I can use that.
I like that. It is the A stands for okay.
Yes. Listen, we are at the top of the hour, and typically on Center Stage, I would give somebody, an opportunity to come and really, showcase their stuff. But with Kellye, with the gem she was dropping and the information and just talking about it, I really felt like, it's something in here that people needed to hear. And, when you're running an organization and you're dealing with all kinds of personalities, it's really important to be grounded and to be centered and to know that God is in the midst of it all. And if you don't have him, then, you're really going to be out here spinning your wheels, and you're going to find out that you're pursuing something that's not going to have a lasting benefit. And so, I love that Kellye said, she's not out here chasing the bag. The bag is chasing her. Matter of fact, it's favor, and favor outweighs a bag.
Listen, any day.
So Kellye, if you would let people know whatever it is you want to leave everybody with before we end the broadcast for tonight.
So actually want to make a big announcement here on Center Stage. You all keep your notifications on. The SheEO district is taking it to the next level. We rolled out our 2.0, but God says that's that t-shirt that mean now bigger. So we're actually going bigger. SheEO is we have some big plans ahead, and we're going to start to offer scholarships for our tribe membership. So keep your notifications on. Go follow, go to our website, the SheEOdistrict.com, and join our newsletter, because newsletter list because a lot of the information will be coming through our newsletter versus the announcements. It'll come through our newsletter first before it goes to announcements in the SheEO district. But it is, sometimes we allow fear. We fear success. We can talk about it. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be wealthy. I want to have this. But then we actually fear at underlying, we fear the success. And we don't fear the success. We feel the failure points that is going to get you to that success, because trust me, anyone successful has had much more failures than they've had at the top of the mountain. There have been more valley moments than there have been at the top of the mountain. So we fear those small valley moments to get us to the top of the mountain. And so, we give a lot of lip service about what we want, but sometimes we really don't want to do what it takes to get there. So just keep your notifications on. Go ahead to SheEOdistrict.com, thesheeodistrict.com, and join our newsletter so you can have firsthand information, because we're only allowing a certain amount of scholarships that we're offering in 2023. But trust me, it'll be worth it'll be well worth it. We are looking to help. Our vision is, over the next 5 years, is to help 600 women through their entrepreneurial journey. Those women who are have an idea for business and need help facilitating that. And our core target audience are women who are in business and not profitable. And what that means is you got to be honest. We got to be honest. We have to let someone know that, hey, I have this business, I have this gift, but I am not profitable, and it's God's will for you to be profitable in the gift that He gave you, and don't let the enemy or anyone else tell you otherwise, right? Because listen, Jesus got paid for going in and out of the temples. Don't get that twisted either. He wasn't working for free. Now He did. Jesus was paid. He was compensated for going in and out of these temples, right? So He wouldn't have us out here using our gifts and talents and for free and sewing in, putting the time and the effort. Because again, entrepreneurship is a lot of work, and it's God's will that you are compensated for your using your gifting talent. So, or really quick, so we have some t-shirts that are going to be going on clearance tomorrow. Again, turn your notifications on. So we have some Real Entrepreneur of Atlanta t-shirts, because we're coming out with a different line of t-shirts starting next month. Starting Black Friday, but our famous SheEO t-shirts are going to be on clearance. $15 tomorrow, y'all. While supplies last. Listen, $15 tomorrow. That is $10 off the normal price of our t-shirt. So we're coming out with a whole full line, and our new charge for 2023. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and spill the tea, because it's a whole campaign behind that. But our charge for the year 2023 is profitable. And it's not profitable the way we think profitable. It's profitable on another level. So yes. So our merch will fall in line with our I think we have a few more wealthy t-shirts and sweatshirts as well. But yeah, they'll all be on clearance starting tomorrow. Get them while they last.
I heard it here, baby. Y'all better be looking out for the thing, honey, and get ready to get those discounted merch, because there's some new things coming out. So just be on the lookout. Make sure you go to, I believe somebody put it into the chat, www.thesheeodistrict.com, so that you can sign up for the newsletter to make sure that you stay in the know. Somebody said, honey, yay, look at God. Won't He do it? Yes, He will. So thank you so much, Kellye, for being on tonight, for sharing your vision, for sharing your passion, for talking about purpose and collaboration, how important it is, and really just letting us know the woman behind the founding of the SheEO district. And although people hear it, I love the fact again that the more that you're in front of the camera, the more comfortable you get to share even more with people, so they can even, take what they're doing even further. So thank you so much for sharing your gifts again, both in front of and behind the camera. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So guys, y'all know this is the SheEO Center Stage, Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are wanting to get on with me with the broadcast, please reach out at Angela at thesheeodistrict.com. Next week, we will have Evangelist Terry White Hicks. Ooh. She's going to come on, honey. So y'all know she's been showing out. 40 days of prayer at the I Am a Woman Empowered group for me. And so y'all don't want to miss that. Plus, she's coming to talk about her new book. Yes. So I want to make sure you guys, honey, I think it's When the Vision Dies. Yes. And get that, honey, because y'all know, if you don't know, she is dropping some gems. Man. I'm telling you, because it just comes out, it just flows out of her mouth, girl. She just opened it up and it just started falling all out. So you need to make sure you tune in next week. And then after that, the last Monday of the month, we have our very own Paula, honey. Miss Paula, if y'all don't know, Pay the Lady Paula. Yikes. She's the one that's going to be on here. So y'all make sure you show up for that, so that she can tell you, because it's all about synergizing results. That's her business, and what she does is amazing. If you need a blind spot coach to help you in your business, to help you to see, areas where you can improve on, then you need to be in for that conversation, because Paula, honey, makes sure to keep things tight and right. Now, listen, if your feelings is easily hurt, I don't know, she's gonna step on their toes and she's gonna snatch them edges, but it's okay. because we trying to go to different levels in 2023, right? So make sure you tune in for the next 2 weeks. And again, if you're interested in being part of the center stage, please connect with me so we can get that done. Until then, Kellye, again, thank you so much. Enjoy your night. You guys, we will see you next Monday.
Good night.